kiss for you.
Anyone else getting really annoyed at products that pretend to be high end and high quality and are actually like the lowest quality for a lot of different items? Specifically, I'm talking about things like Samsung and Sony. And recently, the things that I've kind of noticed here is that in our old house, when we were trying to sell the house, we updated all of the appliances about a year or so before we sold the house. And one of the appliances we were effectively sold on with the upgrade to the kitchen was a high quality Samsung washing machine compared to our older Kenmore one, right? It looks nice. It has all these Wi-Fi features that you can start remotely and check up on it and clean it and that kind of stuff. Remote SmartThings app. It was going to be really quiet. It was going to have the third rack here at the top that was going to be pretty useful and all that. And this is at a higher end of dishwashers, about $1,000. It says $1,400, but we were able to get it for about $1,000. In the first week or two that we had the dishwasher, there was two major issues. The first one, the top rack here. If you tried to put anything on it and closed it and did the washer, I don't know if it can show here. It doesn't look like it, but the top bit here, there's like a spinning blade. And if you put anything that was even slightly higher than like very small things, like if you put a spatula or some kind on it, it would hit the rotating blade, and it has a safety mechanism of sorts that effectively detaches the blade if it gets caught in anything. The obvious issue with that is, well, if the blade detaches when it hits something, it doesn't work anymore, right? And that happened 3 different times. We would try to use the top rack of it to do stuff. It would spin. We don't know when it came off, but every single time when it was finished, when we'd open up the dishwasher and look at the top rack here, the blade would be sitting on the rack here, meaning that not only did it get disconnected and stop washing things, but there was no indication of that. So a large selling feature of the dishwasher, the fact that there's a third rack here to clean things, was made completely irrelevant by the fact that it doesn't actually have a third rack, because the rack blade just disconnects and drops to the floor effectively when it hits basically anything. So that was a major issue. The second thing we had, and it's not going to show on this one, I don't believe, but there is, can we zoom in? We can't. At the bottom here, there's like a little clasp that you can like attach, and it basically attaches to whatever's already set up to close the washer. That didn't break, but it definitely wasn't working as it was supposed to. And we called Samsung, because there's a little QR code, one of these things, to call them. After waiting for about an hour, it was determined that we had to send a repair technician out in order to fix the problem of why it wasn't closing. Well, long and behold, we get off, we schedule the call with the technician, do all that. But a day later, before we can, finish that off, what we figured out was, I don't know if there's an image of it here. Yeah, basically what had happened is a fork or some other kind of utensil had slipped below this point, because the side thing to hold silverware, ours was in the middle. So it had slipped through and prevented the door from closing correctly. And the reason that was a problem is because these blades on the bottom here also do a thing where they basically disconnect once they encounter anything. And so what was happening is we try and close the thing, and it wasn't closing because the blade here was basically being interrupted by the fork that we had put in it. And we sent them pictures of all this. We said, hey, is this blade stuff looking good? They're like, yep, it's looking good. And they were going to send out and charge us for a technician to come out to effectively replace the clasp. And then we determined, oh, look, it's actually not a problem, right? So that's just one example. If we were sold this high-end $1,000 dishwasher, that it was going to be super quiet and all that, and you can control it. And it was quiet. There was a lot of issues that we kind of became immediately apparent. And what I want to take note of here is the marketing. Now, these are all videos, but it's a very similar marketing to other high-end products. I don't consider that these Samsung stuff from a company that, while they do make appliances, that is not their primary business, this to be a necessarily high-end product. Not necessarily because of the issues relating to what we just had, but, it's a company that is not sort of super well known for their quality engineering of dishwashers, selling a dishwasher and pretending that it's a high-end product. We'll compare this to, more well-known companies like Bosch, for instance, that a lot of people like their stuff a little bit more. And there's some other harder-hitting, if you will, companies that make grills and ovens and stuff that are way more specially designed than Bosch, but those are just like the consumer ones. My uncle has a very nice, I don't remember the brand, but it was some like, French brand or whatever, $3,500 oven or something. But that is the kind of high quality stuff, and their website really does look very different, right? It's not trying to become a lifestyle, and that's kind of leading into the second point here, is that Sony, on my second example, released the XM6s, which is their newest headphone model. And a lot of people and a lot of reviews for this headphone are praising the ever-loving crap out of it because of how good the quality is and all that, and oh, it's amazing, and look at that, the best it can possibly be, right? And my immediate issue with this is what they effectively did, if you're not aware, with these noise-canceling headphones, is the XM4s were basically an evolution of the 3s. I did a review on the 3s a little bit ago. You can check that out. The 4s basically were just a slight improvement. They added multi-pairing. They added some better microphones for noise canceling. The 5s were actually a step down because they did not fold in the case. They didn't fold to any capacity. They also had issues relating to that multi-point connectivity, and they didn't fix the touch controls that the previous model had basically used, and the criticism was that the touch controls were not very accurate. So these new ones come out, and they fix a couple of those things. They fix the multi-point pairing issue, and they fix the fact that they can now fold. There is 2 issues with them, however. The first one is they still haven't fixed the touch controls for it. And the second one, as I go here, is the fact that they increased the price of the already increased models. So the 3s and the 4s were $350. The 5s were $400. And it was like, okay, it's $400 and you're losing features. That doesn't feel like it's super competitive. These ones fixed the issues that the 5s had, primarily, at least some of them, but they increased the price again. So now we're at $450, right? And I'll go down here. We'll talk about the advertising here in a second, but I'll go down here and show you that right now on Sony's official website, they're showing the previous model, the XM5s, which again don't fold and have the multi-point issue, but they're showing that for $300, right? Usually $400. So you can buy the previous model, which is fine for 95% of people, for $300, or you can spend $150 more. And functionally speaking, the only difference between the previous model and this one, for people that have the previous model, is that these fold now and they don't have the same issue. They also technically improve the sound, but I'll say it again. If you're looking for headphones like this that have the same or considerably better sound quality, I recommend the Momentum 4s, which is what I currently have. Sennheiser Momentum 4s. These are fantastic. As you can see, you can currently get them for $280. They're usually about $350. So you can pick these up for about $280, which is $170 cheaper than these ones right here, right? And well, these aren't as high quality in terms of these need to be updated, right? They need to be Momentum 5s. But once Momentum 5s come out, and I guarantee they're not going to be $450, they're probably $400. Then it's okay, you're losing in both price and sound quality to a competitor. These ones also don't fold, by the way, which is why a lot of people might not like them immediately or whatever, but I quite like them. I have this model right here. It's not going to show, is it? Of course not. I have the white and gray, white and brown model is really nice. But so $450, $280, that's $170 more you're spending on products that just aren't that much better. And no one really seems to be complaining. They're like, oh yeah, it's increased, whatever. But it's also increased from the previous one. And the previous one was already quite expensive for what it was doing. And now let's talk about what it was doing. A large issue that the 5th generation of these and the 4th had when they redesigned it to this kind of style was the hinge here basically snaps. And the issue when they didn't fold is that because that hinge wasn't meant to be bent in any way, it was very common for these things to snap. And for $400, having these snap was oh my god, we can't have that, right? So they theoretically anyway fixed that by making them foldable and adding a little bit of a metal bit, as you can see here, to the hinge to hopefully bolster that. We don't know how that's going to turn out because it's only been out for a month or two. Even disregarding that quality issue, they are still trying to sell these headphones as a high quality product. Now, I'm not going to comment on things like this sound quality. A lot of people have said that they don't like how the previous models sound. and that a lot of people are saying that these sound better. So I'm not going to comment on that. I will say that a lot of people have been saying that for the price, you are now getting into the territory where you need to sound professional. You're getting into the $400, $500 territory where you need to be sounding like the big dogs if you're going to be charging this amount of money. And they try their best. This is the same for Bose as well. In fact, I would say Bose is even a little bit more egregious in what it tries to do, because at least Sony headphones have engineers there that are kind of built for that stuff, right? Sony has a lot of different products. Bose is just pretending to be an audio company for the most part. But at least Sony has this quality. But you can see real-time analysis maintains the quiet. Premium sound co-create with the masters, showing you on a mixing table and stuff, right? Showing design and wearability and connectivity and these people in these poses. And it's not really a lifestyle one. And I think it's quite fascinating, because the original 3 and 4s were lifestyle. They were showing you walking around a city and in a coffee shop and working on your laptop and do all that, right? On a train. They were lifestyle kind of products. As we get higher and higher in price, and as we try to become more and more premium, we lose that lifestyle factor. These are still lifestyle headphones. They're trying to be used on a plane, on a train, in a coffee shop, at work, at home, at the pool, whatever you're trying to do. These are trying to be the headphones you use. And a lot of high-end products, that's not the case. You're not supposed to use these wherever. They're supposed to be more critical listening. And so we're starting, as you can see from the advertising here, we're starting to get away from that, doing it kind of anywhere. And we're starting to be like, hey, yeah, you could use these to analyze music and mix music, but you can also use them in case you're in a mental health clinic because you're in a glass chair with white suits around you. There's a lot of things here that are starting to bleed into the high-end crap kind of territory. A lot of high-end products have this weird prestige to them. This could be an advertisement for Equinox, Equinox gym. Equinox Fitness Club, the $1,000 a month or whatever gym. You're starting to get into this kind of territory where it's oh, look at this high-end gym with all this stuff and beautiful photography. You're starting to get into this kind of territory of super high-end, super ridiculous, spa resort kind of things. And the reason I mention that is because, as we're going up in price and we're doing that, let's take a look at what actually is high-end. Now, these are not high-end because they're $600. These are high-end because they come from Master and Dynamic, a very well-known and respected audio company specifically that primarily focuses in selling headphones and earphones for critical listening and analytical work, as we can go back here. Primarily headphones, speakers, audio accessories geared towards the creative community. So this is people like DJs and musicians and other things like that. And we can see their primary competitor, if you will, to these new Sony phones is the MW75. As you can see, also from their marketing, you do not see them in a train, on a plane, or in a coffee shop, or working at home, or with a laptop, or anything like that. You simply see the beauty of the product and how it looks on someone's head. And that is it. You are not getting sort of overloaded with that. This is actually mostly to show off the design. The ear cups, the way I assume these are metal, the engraving you can do, the quality of the design there, that's what it's showcasing here. And you'll notice the Sony ones, primarily speaking, do a similar thing to these. And that's why I'm saying, as you get higher and higher end, you're starting to effectively encroach on the space that these actually high-end products are doing. And I don't like that personally, because I think there should be a distinction. These are high-end products and will stay high-end products. Sony isn't. If Sony wants to create a division of audio that's more specified to that, I think you can do that, and I think that works well. But right now, I want the separation between what is and will always remain lifestyle headphones and critical headphones. I don't see many people spending $600 and having these things to listen on a plane, right? I don't really see that. I think these are more, again, as I said, creative community stuff, people that are interested in making music and distributing music and kind of that kind of thing, and less so the lifestyle stuff. And I've just seen that change be very distinct with Sony, where they used to, in the 3 and 4s, used to showcase this as more of a lifestyle thing. So this is kind of a comparison. You can see the style here is very, I don't know the correct marketing term, but it's very emotional. It's wow, look how cool this looked, and look at the detail of the engraving. It's kind of like what you would see if you were, not Porsche, but Koenigsegg or other higher end hypercar models, you would see this, where they're showcasing the design, they're showcasing the ear cups, and they're showcasing how they built it. Reminds me of Dyson a little bit, right? They're trying to create this wow imagery that high-end products tend to cultivate. And you'll see, as I said here, Sony's also trying to do that, but I don't think they have the... they're trying to do something in a market that they are not equipped to do, and it just gets kind of me really annoyed when I see something like that. And we'll take another example here. I'll say Bose as well, so let's just check out Bose real quick. Let's see what they're going for. Noise canceling, quiet comfort headphones for $350, quiet comfort ultras for $450. So they used to have Bose NC700. These things, yeah. They were trying to take a piece of this pie and make it look like this. And this was Bose's attempt at like Sony-ifying their headphone stuff. And these were like $400 as well. And these were not that good, just generally from like a sound quality and reliability perspective. But that was really telling. It's like at the same time the fives launched, same time the fives launched, these launched as well. And like, okay, well, both of the competitors are $400, so obviously we must be $400 as well. And then that's kind of where they landed. And as you can see, as we go back here, you'll notice Quiet Comfort Ultra, $450. And I believe these were $450 at launch. Let's just check. Bose QC Ultra price $430. It looks like the Quiet Comfort Ultras launched at, and now they're somehow even more expensive than they launched 2 years ago, which is always a good sign when things go higher than it should be. Instead of decreasing, these are now increasing. So they're $450. These ones here are $450. At that point, you're functionally irrelevant in terms of trying to get the broader market. So here's a recommendation. If you're in the market for an XM6 or a Bose QC Ultra, get the, where did it go? Oh, I got rid of it. Well, get the Momentums, right? That's not it. That's not it. It's probably this one, right? Yeah, get the Momentums. 280. Right now, 280. If Momentum 5s come out, they're probably not going to be higher than 400, and they're also going to sound considerably better than any of those. Their reliability is awesome. It's great, right? The app's really nice, too, because you can set and forget. It's not like the Sony one where you have to constantly keep pecking at it. This is also not sponsored by them. I just like the headphone. You can check my review I did of the headphones as well if you're interested in that. But yeah, I would just say if you're interested in the other two, you should be getting these ones as well. Noise canceling obviously isn't as good as the Sony ones, but it's pretty damn good. Like, it's probably like Mark III or Mark IV levels for the Sony ones if you use those. But it's not, the newest one. But I definitely think it's way better than I think people give it credit for. Also, in case you can't read this here because it's in blue, 60 hours of battery life, and that's pretty accurate. I've gotten about 55 hours of this battery life, and I've had them for about a year now, so this is accurate, right? If the Sony's going to give you 30 hours, these ones are actually legitimately giving you like 50, and it's incredible. So I just highly recommend these. I'm not just going to show my review, but I did a review on this and a review on the 3s, and I came from the 3s to the Momentum 4s, and I really love them for that. But it's just one of those things where it's like, this one isn't trying to be a super high-end product, right? This is more lifestyle focused. It's showing them, out and about, cruising, having a good time. A lot of the time there's other, Momentum 4s, we're in a workplace, we're going around here, we're going through stuff. Like, these are trying to be lifestyle and succeeding, and it's at a, respectable lifestyle price. So I really kind of approve of this way of doing marketing. Is very good compared to what everyone else is trying to do, which is like, hey, look how cool we are, look how the engineering, all the stuff we did. It's just kind of, sorry if this is a rant, but this is just one of the things I've seen a lot of the time, whether it be through Sony or Bose or even Sennheiser does it sometimes with it, to things like Samsung and Bosch and things. It's just like, these are not high quality products, and they're pretending to be high quality, and that kind of is really annoying. So if you're interested in more videos like this and want to see more of the stuff on the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, go all that, and I'll see everyone in the next video.